Alright, what's going on there, everybody? Um, I was really hoping I didn't have to touch up on this decision, uh, but it's been bothering me a little too much, and I had to talk about it. This is basically going to be like a part two to my video that I had talked about with behavior ruining Dead by Daylight. Um, this is going to be a continuation to it because this is just outright ridiculous. Uh, their decision to basically remove the Leatherface mask, I didn't really give a shit about it for like a split second, and then I really started thinking about it, and then I got really curious as to what is the real motive behind their decision on doing this. I would not necessarily say that this is my opinion. More so, it feels like it's just fact. Just because based off of other how other businesses do this type of shit, and just using my own common sense. It has nothing to do with my own uh, biases, more so, or like anything to do with my beliefs. It's just I understand how companies work, just based off the sole fact of how they operate. Um, and so, before I get into this video, there's a little things I want to touch up on. I am kind of still sick. I got sick on January 1st. Funny enough, I don't even have fucking friends, and I didn't even hang out with anybody at all or even go out, and somehow I still managed to get sick. So I'm still trying to break away from this cold. I've just about managed to clear up most of it. It's just my lungs are tickly here and there. And then I also got a new webcam. I was tired of my C920's shitty fucking frame rate. I'm a very animated character, so I move my hands a lot, move a lot, and it was kind of pissing me off when I do some editing that how bad the quality of the cam was. Webcams in general are just not there yet in terms of quality. Even this Brio that I bought, this Logitech Brio, still isn't not up to the specifications that I want it to be. But it's a little bit better than what I originally had, now that it runs at 60 frames, or so it claims, but it still feels like 30 sometimes. Anyways, so this video is going to be talking about Behaviours' decisions to remove the Leatherface mask. I don't know. I'm hoping God can give me the fucking strength. Dear God, give me the strength to continue to play this game and to continue to try and enjoy it when they keep making these decisions that just go against like all the crap that I hate in a business and a company, to basically satisfy a group of people that fabricate an issue when there probably never ever really was one to begin with. And that's what this feels like to me. It's just another way to pander to people that were basically bitching and moaning to create some sort of trend to have this mask removed, because I don't even think they necessarily, because they don't agree with it. They just are so fucking, these types of people on Twitter, because I think this is how it happened. They keep fucking, these types of people that are on Twitter bitch and moan about an issue that's usually surrounded by politics, where they have no real right or business or even knowledge of what the fuck it even all means at the end of the day on an actual fundamental level or on any sort of intelligent level. Monkey see, monkey do. That's how most of the populace act in terms of politics. And so when they see a black, because we're just going to use Claudette's Leatherface mask. I'm sorry, but that's what this really boils down to. It has nothing to do with the other three masks, unlockable masks that you can earn. It strictly focuses on Claudette's mask. So the argument here is that people were using Claudette's mask to basically promote racism, hate, whatever the fuck that means. Because at the end of the day, how are you going to ever think that there's a bunch of racists wearing this mask and they're harassing you because you think it's racist because they're using the mask and you're playing as Claudette or you're playing as Tap or you're playing as Adam, and you automatically assume that it's racist because they're using the mask solely because you're using these characters, or because maybe you're a black individual and you think it's racist because they've decided to use the mask on you, and you just feel triggered because of your skin color. It sounds stupid as fuck to me. If you're one of those individuals, I'm sorry, but that just sounds so fucking stupid. We keep doing this shit to us as a society where we keep creating racism when there never really was racism. I'm going to try to keep this as level as I can without going off the top with this type of shit, because it really pisses me off. That we've become a society, and I'm sorry, it's going to get really political, but we've become a society where we keep creating racism to keep furthering the divide between racism, keep furthering the divide with races, between, mainly it seems like these days, between blacks and whites. That is the big two targeted groups right now, in terms of trying to demonize whites or demonize blacks, or victimize blacks and demonize whites for things that don't really actually exist. Like, even if they exist, it's like on this type of level, but we've escalated it to where it's this big of a level. Basically, it's a small issue that shouldn't be brought up to the extent to make it this much of an issue, because that's how racism breeds, that's how toxicity breeds. And I guess you're going to say that's my own opinion of how I feel about that, but it really does feel like that's where we've come. I mean, even Morgan Freeman himself has said in other videos how, when the announcer asked him, how do we stop racism? And his response was, we stop talking about it. The moment we stop talking about it and stop acknowledging it as an issue is when we actually start coming more together as people. This type of thing is just so fucking stupid. Even this individual here, shout out to you, man, since I watched your video, to kind of get some kind of knowledge of what's going on with this, because I wanted to kind of get in the loop in terms of what's really kind of happening here with the removal of this. So Void Todos, I watched your video on this and your take on this, and even you yourself as a black individual has even said that this is fucking kind of stupid. In terms of, this is a horror character. A horror character does not give a shit about the color of your skin, and even the person behind the screen that is playing this individual, how are you to know that he's using this mask to basically promote racism or hate? It doesn't really make sense to me. And even if that was the case, it just sounds like a bunch of 4chan, Reddit, or retards that got together to create some sort of fucking meme or trend that basically made the Twitter retards go over, thinking that this was actually some form of racism, when honestly it's just edgy bullshit. That's what that sounds like to me. And so what Behavior decided to do is cater to the minority, which are these Twitter retards, because they keep bitching and complaining about something that's now become a fabricated bigger issue than it really ever really was. Behavior responds, and so they remove the mask from the game, basically acknowledging it as if it was some sort of racist or hateful thing when it never really was. And that's my problem with it. What makes this even more disgusting is this part right here. Anyone who has ever played Cannibal by the release of the mid-chapter update will be awarded 6,000 iridescent shards to compensate for their removal. It's like, this sounds like the shit the government does. And again, I don't want this video to get completely political, but when we talk about race or any type of these type of subjects, it's going to get political. It's just what it is. But sounds like the same bullshit the government does in terms of to get you vaccinated for the current bullshit ass COVID crap that's going on right now. Oh, get the vaccine, we'll give you a hamburger, we'll give you a pizza, we'll give you $100 if you get vaccinated. So here you go, here's our incentive for pissing everybody off. We're sorry, so here's 6,000 iridescent shards to keep it quiet and just keep playing. That way you'll keep spending at least on a cosmetic or something, when this 6,000 iridescent shards isn't even enough to give you even one piece of a fucking cosmetic. It's 7,200 typically for even one piece. Like, the bribing to basically keep people kind of just like, well, we're sorry, so here's some shards, you know. It's just, bro, don't even give me anything. Just why? Like, you're just adding another nail to the coffin of how I feel about this game already. It's like, why? That's my 2 cents on that part right there. But so I'm gonna one up this right now. I'm gonna try to one up this. How about we remove the pride charm, right? So since you guys think that this mask is promoting hate and racism, well, for someone like myself that highly disagrees with the pride charm being in a horror video game where these political types of pieces of content are getting pushed into the game to cater to a specific group of people to take advantage of them for the sake of money. Why have it in your game? Since people are going to be targeting individuals that are wearing this pride charm, and basically they could be face camping them because they're wearing the pride charm, or they're harassing the killer even more so because they're wearing the pride charm on the hook. Why not remove that from the game? Because I'm going to tell you right now, having these types of political icons in the game are going to promote the same amount of hate because nobody wants to see them in a video game. Me personally, I don't want to see them in a video game. I've already discussed this in my part 1 video, why this charm needs to be removed from the game, or why it's even to be added into a video game, because people are going to start harassing people because they don't necessarily agree with it in terms of not because they're transphobic or homophobic. It's because they understand, like I do. Well, you may have some small little individuals that are going to be doing that shit just to be fucking a memeing retard and Reddit or whatever, but they understand that companies put or try to acknowledge that whole pride awareness bullshit just so that companies can sell you some merchandise or sell you something or get a specific group of people to come play their game. The only reason why Behavior even put the fucking pride charm in there was to hopefully get people to spend money, or to get those groups of people to get into the game so they'll spend money on cosmetics or whatever, what have you. They're trying to target an audience and exploit them to basically get money from them. That's how I look at that. No company will ever give a fuck about your sexuality. No company ever gives a fuck about your best interest. It's no different from politicians. Politicians don't give a fuck about your own self-interest. It's their self-interest. Or sorry, your self-interest, their self-interest. This is common sense shit, man. This has nothing to do with like my own biases or my own opinions about things. This is just the way the world works. As ugly as it is, nobody cares about you at the end of the day. You can only care about yourself, and that's the end of the story. So that's why, and when we're talking about a horror video game, these types of politics do not and should not be in these types of games, because you designed a horror video game, not a political video game. So this type of shit starts alienating your player base. People like myself that don't want to see this type of shit in a video game because they want, I guess if you want to call it, escapism from the real world, the fucking Matrix. It's like you're being plugged right back into the fucking Matrix, dude, when it comes to these types of things, like being talked about and fabricated. It's like you can't get away from reality at the end of the day. It's like you're just constantly being plugged right back in because of these people that are toxic in themselves for trying to create something that really isn't there. I mean, I don't know how many Bubba games I've been getting into recently that are just face camping me to fucking do it. I play with my friend. She and I, we play this a lot, and her and I have been honestly getting face camped a lot by Bubba for really no specific reason. Could be my Steam name, but in my own right, I'm a bit of a memer because I don't agree with this bullshit that is going on with the game. So I kind of troll the game at this point when I play it. Because I'm just not serious with it anymore. Like, I haven't been serious with this game since, God, I don't even know anymore. I haven't felt enthusiastic about Dead by Daylight much anymore, just because of the business decisions and the constant toxicity that keeps breeding around the video game, that I've dropped off a lot more from the game and creating content for it, because I can't really help support a game that constantly keeps alienating me as a player based off of their decisions. Um, and so yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about, was just this whole removal of the mask, just kind of falling in line with my part one video of why Behavior killed Dead by Daylight or destroyed Dead by Daylight. I don't remember the title I labeled for it, but this is just something I wanted to talk about real briefly before I do my other videos I have lined up for today. Since I haven't done anything in a while, and anyway, I don't know, it's really a shame just to see this game further go down the toilet. Like, I don't know, I don't understand. And it's like, if we're just gonna keep being this retarded with removing content based off of some weird bullshit on race or hate, alright, well, hey, we should just remove Claudette from the game, right? Or any other black character from the game, because their melanin basically gives them an advantage in the dark, or some stupid shit like that, dude. Like, that's how stupid this sounds. I swear to God, Behavior would never go that far, but that's how stupid that type of shit sounds. It's getting to that level where, I'm sorry guys, we can't put black characters in the game because they're harder to see in the game, or we're gonna kind of lighten them up a little bit so we can see them in the game. This is the type of shit that I'm talking about, that I'm waiting for Behavior to do, but they wouldn't dare do something like that because they know it is gonna fuck their game up hard, and it's just gonna be a shit show on Twitter if they ever did some shit like that. That was pretty brutal of me to say, but that's not what I believe. That's just what I'm trying to get my point across, right? It's just, I don't know. This is where we've come with this game. I don't want this to be a lengthy video than it already has to be. So basically, whatever your questions, comments, or concerns are, I don't know. Maybe I'm the bad guy. I have no fucking idea. This is just how I've been feeling with this game, and just the constant bombardment of this political cesspool void that constantly keeps being shoved into this game that just pisses me the fuck off. I can't seem to want to do anything with it anymore because of just how bad it is. I would like to hear what you guys think, maybe. Like, again, maybe I'm the bad guy. I don't know. It's just that's how I feel. So anyways, hopefully you guys have a good one. I'll go ahead and see you in the next video. Peace out.